Imagine working your entire life, waking up early for decades, paying taxes, mortgages, bills, and doing everything society told you to do, only to realize you still can't afford to retire comfortably. Right now across America, millions of people in their 50s, 60s, and even 70s are terrified about retirement. Some are delaying retirement completely. Others are going back to work after retiring. And the scary part is, this crisis is happening quietly while most Americans are too busy surviving day to day to notice it. In today's video, we're exposing the silent retirement crisis nobody talks about and why it could affect almost every American family. Welcome back to the Dollar Pilot. Today we're talking about one of the biggest financial problems quietly growing across the United States, America's retirement crisis. For decades, Americans were told a simple formula: work hard, save money, retire peacefully. But for millions of people today, that formula is breaking down. And the reason is simple. The cost of living in America has risen much faster than many people were financially prepared for. Housing costs exploded. Healthcare costs surged, groceries became more expensive, insurance costs increased, and inflation quietly reduced the value of people's savings over time. Now, many Americans are discovering that retirement is far more expensive than they ever imagined. One major problem is that millions of Americans simply don't have enough retirement savings. A large percentage of workers are entering their 50s and 60s with very limited savings inside their 401k accounts, IRAs, or investment portfolios. Some households have almost nothing saved at all. Why? Because many Americans spent years living paycheck to paycheck. When people struggle to afford rent, groceries, childcare, student loans, and medical bills, retirement savings often become the last priority. And this problem became even worse after the pandemic-era inflation surge. Another huge issue is healthcare. Many Americans underestimate how expensive healthcare becomes during retirement. Even with Medicare, retirees still face costs like prescriptions, dental care, long-term care, surgeries, insurance premiums, and unexpected medical emergencies. Healthcare inflation in America has been one of the biggest financial pressures on retirees for years. And unlike younger workers, retirees often live on fixed incomes. That means rising prices hit older Americans especially hard. Housing is another major factor behind the retirement crisis. For previous generations, many retirees entered retirement with fully paid off homes. But today, more Americans are carrying mortgages later into life. Property taxes, insurance premiums, maintenance costs, and rent prices are also rising across the country. In some states, homeowners' insurance has increased dramatically due to climate risks and economic pressures. As a result, many older Americans are financially stretched even after retirement. And then there's Social Security. Millions of Americans rely heavily on Social Security payments to survive. But the reality is that Social Security was never designed to fully replace a person's working income. For many retirees, Social Security only covers basic necessities. Meanwhile, everyday expenses continue rising. This is one reason many retirees are returning to work. Across the United States, more seniors are working part-time jobs, driving for delivery apps, working retail positions, consulting, or freelancing simply to keep up financially. And this trend is becoming increasingly common. Another hidden issue is longer life expectancy. People are living longer than previous generations. On the surface, that sounds positive, but financially, it creates a major challenge. Retirement savings now need to last 20, 25, or even 30 years for some people. That dramatically increases the amount of money needed for retirement security. At the same time, pensions have largely disappeared in America. Decades ago, many workers had guaranteed pensions from employers. Today, most workers rely on self-funded retirement accounts like 401ks. That means individuals now carry far more financial responsibility and investment risk themselves, and not everyone has the financial education needed to manage long-term investing successfully. Market volatility also creates fear. When stock markets fluctuate sharply, many older Americans worry about losing retirement savings right before or during retirement. This creates emotional stress and financial uncertainty, especially because retirement accounts are heavily tied to market performance. And perhaps the biggest emotional factor behind this crisis is uncertainty. Many Americans no longer feel financially secure. Even people with decent retirement savings often worry. What if inflation keeps rising? What if healthcare costs explode? What if the economy weakens? What if I outlive my savings? That fear is becoming extremely common in America today. Younger generations are also paying attention to this crisis. Many millennials and Gen Z workers are watching older generations struggle financially and realizing retirement may become even harder for them in the future. Student debt, housing affordability problems, rising living costs, and economic instability are making long-term financial planning more difficult for younger Americans. This is why financial literacy matters now more than ever. Understanding investing, budgeting, debt management, emergency savings, and retirement planning has become essential in today's economy because the financial system has changed dramatically compared to previous generations. Now here's the important part. This video is not about fear, it's about awareness. The earlier people understand these financial realities, the more time they have to prepare. Even small financial habits can make a major difference over decades. Reducing unnecessary debt, consistently investing, building emergency savings, avoiding lifestyle inflation, learning long-term financial discipline. These habits matter more today than ever before. And despite the challenges, many Americans are adapting. More people are learning about investing. More households are budgeting carefully, more workers are building side income streams, and more families are taking financial planning seriously. But the retirement crisis itself is very real, because millions of Americans are realizing that retirement in modern America is no longer guaranteed simply by working hard. It now requires strategy, planning, financial education, and long-term discipline. At The Dollar Pilot, we believe understanding the economy is one of the most powerful tools you can have. Because once you understand the financial realities shaping America, you can make smarter decisions for your future instead of simply reacting to economic pressure. The silent retirement crisis isn't just about older Americans. It's about the future of the entire middle class. And the decisions people make today may determine whether they experience financial freedom or financial stress decades from now. So stay informed, stay disciplined, and keep learning because your financial future depends on it.